So you guys, whenever I get into a mental rut, a mental block, a mental, bad space with trading because I lost a big amount or I've lost a few times in a row or more than I normally lose, I always go back to what I call bread and butter and what we call here at Dorian Trader bread and butter. And I go back to a super high probability trade so I can get back into the win zone. Let's just say you're not even comfortable with that. You want to be a correction away, right? You want to be at least 30% away in this environment with the VIX up a decent amount. So if we take the 68.52 and we minus 30% from that, right? A crash, and I told you that doesn't happen maybe once every 10 years. That's going to take us down. That's the 4,800. It's hard to do it on your own, and then it's hard when you're losing if you don't have the correct desire to do this, and the dedication and discipline that we talked about. You have to have a crazy amount of discipline. You have to have a ability to really focus and get over the learning curve. And most of us don't, right? I mean, that's just the truth. And that's why the failure rate with trading, in my opinion, is so high. But that's why the failure rate with so many professions is so high. Right? Trading gets that bad rep of, oh, most of these people fail. Well, how many people become an NBA, basketball player? Right? Well, that percentage is ridiculously low. But how many people play basketball in high school or something? Well, that's a pretty decent percentage of people, right? I'm talking about athletes. Some of you guys, I don't normally talk about a different mentoring firm. I look at different mentoring firms from time to time just to see what they're doing, and especially the big ones. So it's a big one out there. The way they try to make money in the market is different than us. So I'm okay with saying it, saying his name out front because most of you on the call has heard. Ross Cameron, the founder of Warrior Trading, he had a book come out that's called How to Day Trade. I purchased this book to listen to his story because I think the way he day trades it's not a statistical edge, but he's phenomenal at it. At the way he day trades, which is a more traditional way buying shares. And he talked about that when he first started trading, his father passed away and he inherited $100,000 from his father. He started to use that 100,000 to learn the trade and fund his lifestyle. And he was married at the time. Well, a little while later, about 2 years later, he was down to $25,000, just enough to be able to day trade with the pattern day trading rule. And keep in mind, he didn't have a job at this time. He was learning for 2 years. His marriage came to an end and he dropped below 25K and had to figure out how to get back above that, had to sell some couple of cars that he fixed up, and that was the last he had. And he was either going to have to win or he's going to have to go find another job or something because it was over. But he didn't want to do that. He loved the markets, loved the trading, and just had to figure it out. And so he figured it out, obviously. And I'm not going to go into how he figured it out just in case you want to read the book or whatever, but maybe I'll talk about it in the future. But the reason why I'm bringing it up is because most people would have quit within that time frame. Losing, right? He said he won his first year, and that was more of a beginner's luck. He gave all that back plus a lot more, obviously, in his second year, and he didn't start winning until his third year at doing this day trading stuff. Almost 100% of people would have quit at that point. My reason of saying that is that you have to have the fortitude to be able to, and the dedication to be able to fight through. Obviously, you can't lose too much. If you lose too much, you're out of the game. You have to go to get another job, and maybe you still love it. You have to build up another stake, and that happens to a number of people. I know that happened to me before I became a full-time trader. I lost a lot of accounts and had to rebuild it. But at the same time, having a job, it's a little easier when that's the case, right? You don't have to worry about not eating, but just stick with it. And whenever you have tough periods, think about the stuff that is working and do more of that and trade a lot smaller. And maybe if you've been, let's just say you've been day trading for, 2 years or so, and you still don't have the discipline to, make money every time you make a lot, you give it back because you know of some discipline issue, then you either have to woman up or man up, or whatever you want to call it, and become disciplined, or you have to stop trading like that, or it's not going to work for you. Right. And so anyway, I went down a road that I didn't plan on talking about, but that's going to lead into the conversation that I wanted to talk about here anyway, real quick. And that's how to use a swing trade to simplify trading and win 95% of the time. Before we continue with the video, I just want to quickly point out if you need any additional help, please consider joining our trading club. You can do that by clicking on the link in the description area, and you'll get a 3-month trial for a flat fee of $60. We look forward to seeing you in the trading club. Back to the video. So you guys, whenever I get into a mental rut, a mental block, a mental, bad space with trading because I lost a big amount or I've lost a few times in a row or more than I normally lose. I always go back to what I call bread and butter and what we call here at Dorian Trader bread and butter. And I go back to a super high probability trade. I can get back into the win zone. A number of you have heard me talk about doing the bread and butter trade and simplifying it to the point where you only put on a trade when the market is down a half a percent or more. And on average, that's usually, about 5 times a month on average. Sometimes it's none in a month, but on average. In March, it was a lot of times that you were able to put on the trade. And a number of you I've been meeting with and texting with and emailing with, and you all have been able to take profits on those trades that you put on in March of 50, 70, 80% profits because you had the wherewithal to be able to put those trades on as the markets were dropping, betting that it will work out. And some of you trusting what I'm saying, and it's panned out. And so we might not be able to put on a trade again for a few days, a week or two, whatever. That's okay. You wait for that pitch. You wait for that opportunity to get the right pitch that works for you so you can swing and get on base, so you can swing and hit a home run. With the bread and butter trade, and when the market is down, and keep in mind right now, we're not down a lot, right? We're only down less than a quarter of a percent. It's basically flat. But if we went here and looked at the ES and we decided to do a bread and butter type of trade, let's just say we went 56 days away. If we went 56 days away on this put side, I'm not even going to pick a delta, this number of being 20% away from where it's at right now, at least, right? So if we take this 68, where it's currently trading at 68.54, and we minus 20% from it right now, that's going to take us down to 54.83. So if we go to this 5,400, that is more than 20% away. So we've talked about this a lot. A correction is 10%. The S&P didn't go for a correction here recently, but it usually does it at least once a year. A bear market is 20%. That doesn't happen very often, but they just say once every 5 years or so. And then we have a 30% down is a crash. That's really rare, right? That's like dot-com bubble, 2008 crisis, COVID, those are type of things, right? Very rare, maybe once every 10 years or something like that, right? This is more than 20% away. And if we did, in this example, a 100-point wide spread, which is a standard type of spread for us here at Dorian Trader, then that means we would collect here with the ES $68, right? Not a ton. We're not even getting $100 here, but the odds on us winning are crazy super high. So you might be okay with just getting back on the win board, getting back on the positive side of your P&L, right? Or you can do what we call a non-standard and do this a little wider, basing it on just your probabilistic edge. And this time you can get $100 after fees and commissions. And it's super far away, more than 20%. But let's now look at it and say, well, you're not comfortable with that. You don't want to go, you don't even think 20% is safe enough because you've just been such in a bad rut. And so let's go all the way down to $5,000 strike. Let's divide that by what is currently trading at. So 5,000 divided by the 68.53 and minus one from that. This is 27% away. So almost a correction away. Well, let's just say you're not even comfortable with that. You want to be a correction away, right? You want to be at least 30% away in this environment with the VIX up a decent amount. So if we take the 68.52 and we minus 30% from that, right? A crash, and I told you that doesn't happen maybe once every 10 years. That's going to take us down to the 4,800, right? That's the 4,800. And then if we go that far, we can just, decide we're going to just collect $57 before fees and commissions. And that's a one delta. But if we're going to do that, let's add the call side. And let's just say we're going to add the call side at a 1 delta 2 at the 7,700. And we're going to do a 100-point wide spread. That's only giving us $80. So let's match the put side and do a 200-point spread. And that's only giving us, 93. But let's just say you're okay with that. You're okay with the 93 before fees and commissions, and you do this type of trade. Your win rate is ridiculously high because you're basically on the 1 delta on both sides, right? So if you add that up, that's 1 and 1 equals 2, right? And then your probability of having to adjust, you times that by 2 is 4. You got a 4% chance of having to adjust this trade. If you wanted to get a little bit more monies, you can just move up this call side to the 2 delta, and now that's going to give you the $100 after fees and commissions. You'll still have the $100, and that you have a 1 delta plus the 2 delta that equals 3. So it's a 3% chance one of these things are going to expire in the money, and then and if you times that by 2, you have a 6% chance you're going to have to adjust this trade. And if we want to figure out how far we're away from at the money on the call side, you take that number divided by by this price here, and you subtract one from it, right? So we take the 7,600 divided by the 6,850, and we minus one from it. The call side is 11% up. That's huge, you guys. That's huge. 11% up in the next 56 days. You most likely can be in this trade for, let's say, half the amount of time. If you want to be in it a little longer than that and get your 75% profit, you most likely, it's only a 6% chance you're going to have to adjust this trade. This is what I call a swing trade that simplifies things and gives you a win rate of 95 plus percent. Not only are you going to have a crazy percentage or opportunity to win, you're going to have a very, very, very low probability of even having to touch this trade. A number of us have been putting these trades on and not even this far away and hasn't had to adjust this trade all year. I've told some of you this morning that we haven't had to adjust these bread and butter swing trades since April of 2025 when we had the liberation time. And that was not a huge adjustment. It was a small adjustment. Everything came back in place, obviously, as you guys know, and we won. We won every month last year. And so far, we've won every month this year with this swing trading. I love the ES, you guys. When I was in my fund, I could have traded anything, but I still love the ES, and I simplify things by just trading the S&P 500 for the most part. I did the Nasdaq and the Russell too, but just indexes, they're going to go in the same direction. Almost 90+% of the time, they're going to go in the same direction, not necessarily the same percentage, but the same direction. It just simplifies things, you guys. I don't have to worry about earnings. I don't have to worry about a CEO doing something silly. I don't have to worry about any individual company risk. I just have to worry about the S&P 500, which is so predictable, a lot more predictable. Nothing's predictable, but it's a lot easier to kind of understand what it's going to do and what it's not going to do. And so I do this and then I get my mojo back, get back in the right mental space, and then you can, start rocking and rolling. Or you can just stay like this, stay with these type of trades. You don't have to make trading hard. You don't have to be a Ross Cameron and, do day trading. That's a master skill, but I also think you have to have a crazy amount of discipline. You have to have a ability to really focus and get over the learning curve. And most of us don't, right? I mean, it's just that's just the truth, and that's why the failure rate with trading, in my opinion, is so high. But that's why the failure rate with so many professions is so high. Right? Trading gets that bad rep of all these people fail. Well, how many people become an NBA basketball player? Right? Well, that percentage is ridiculously low. But how many people play basketball in high school or something? Well, that's a pretty decent percentage of people. Right? I'm talking about athletes. Right?